Welcome back to the kitchen, everyone. So in this video, we're going to be a bit of practice following up on what we've seen, what we've learned about the sauté technique with another sauté dish. The reason for that is that when I finished my video last week, my neighbor, my lady neighbor came and knocked at my door and gave me this. She told me, hey, I've got this old French cookbook. Maybe you can find some inspiration in here. And this is from Suzanne Gibbs. She is actually the daughter of Margaret Fulton, which was an culinary icon in Australia. And even though this is 40 years old, it is still relevant today. You'll find your bœuf bourguignon, you'll find your confit, you're going to find your terrine, your pâté, your coq au vin, etc., etc. So if you have any of these small books, don't dismiss them because they're super useful. For me, what I love to do is to go through and try to see a recipe I haven't come across before. And this is the case. Here we've got the Poulet Sauté Ronsard, perfect for practice here, simple ingredients, and coming from an establishment that is now closed called Hôtel du Cheval Rouge à Montoire. It's a Loire-et-Cher. It's kind of southwest down in Paris, almost near the Loire Valley. And it is supposed to be their signature dish. So it is a simple sautéed chicken cooked in a mix of cognac. It's loaded with cognac actually, loaded with a dry white wine and a lot of aromatics, surprisingly lots of carrots. And I love to walk back in the traces of this chef to see what are they trying to pull off here, what kind of flavor is trying to do. So we're gonna start off by making that recipe straight away. You'll find everything, of course, on a recipe card, and it is supposed to be served with a saffron rice. So now let's use our sauté pan and let's try that sauté chicken. So we're going to start here with the same sauté pan we had the last time. We've seen how to sauté lamb, and now we're going to again see how that pan can be used for a dish with much more liquid, much more sauce. And we're going to be using chicken. The basics is just 1 or 2 tablespoons of olive oil with some butter, where we're going to be starting to sauté slightly the chicken pieces. Now the chicken has been dusted with flour and seasoned with salt and pepper. Very important. Now if you like one pot dishes, you're going to really like that because it seems to be just done in one go, in one pan. So very simple. We've got the butter that's melted. I'm going to add my pieces of chicken. You can put skin down or not if you want, up to you. And we're going to saute this for just a few minutes. Up. And I'm also going to put on the side, I've got this little, these are the wings. I always give some extra flavor in there. And there we go. So I'm going to spend a good 5 minutes before I turn these things over. So we want a light coloration. So my clock just went off. After 5 minutes, we're going to have a look. What we have. Nice coloring, you can see. So we're going to turn all the pieces. I'm going to do that off camera. Try to turn them off on the other side. All the chicken has been turned over and I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. My other 5 minutes have passed and the recipe is telling me that now we should be adding the shallots, the carrots and the garlic in here. But my pan is too small. See, 24 centimeters is barely enough for my chicken. So what we're going to do here, we simply I'm going to reduce the heat and I'm going to take the chicken off and reserve it in the tray and we're going to cook the aromatics on their own. Okay, so you remove everything and you see that in a tray. Now the one thing I'm leaving behind is, of course, these little wings that I have in here. So I'm going to get my shallots in here and because we've got plenty of oil and butter, it's going to be perfect. We want to reduce the heat because shallots can burn, so the goal is not to burn anything. And there's plenty of carrots. That makes me wonder, are the measurements accurate? Because I have noted already that the measurement for the cognac, for instance, didn't seem to match. It was talking about a quarter cup, which is about 70 ml of cognac to do a flambé, and I know for a fact that if you flambé 70 milliliters of cognac in your pan, your kitchen will go on fire. So I had to reduce some of the measurement, but I'll stick to the recipe and we'll see. So for these, just a few minutes. So after 2 or 3 minutes, this is the mixture that I've got, and typically we have to put the chicken in here and do a flambé. The one thing about the flambé is great in a restaurant for a show, and the reason you do a flambé is actually to ignite the alcohol that sits in the cognac and burn it off. But if you boil your cognac, you're going to have the same effect. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to raise my heat, and I'm not going to go into a whole flambé technique, but I still want to have the taste of the cognac, and look, there's a lot of it. You can use brandy as well. So all what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add my cognac at the deglazing without igniting it, because at the end of the day, what we want here is to capture all juices that sits at the bottom of the pan, and that tells me that the chef there, the cook, is really aiming for something that looks to me more like a braised dish than anything else. You see, we start to make detach the caramelized juices. We have to have some taste in there. The cognac, we're going to reduce this for 1 or 2 minutes. So my cognac has been reducing for about 1.5 minutes, something like this. And here, I'm going to take my pieces of chicken. I'm going to put them back in the pan. And you see they're sitting on a bed of vegetable on here. Okay, in the breast, on here. And then I'm going to put the rest of the ingredients. We've got the garlic that goes in here. We've got the tomato as well, if I can grab it there. So tomato, we're not going to put it on the chicken, we're going to put it here. There's just about 1 tomato, so it's really just an accent of tomato. It's not tomato juice or anything like that. Okay, we have the bouquet garni. Very important, we can place in here. And the reason we're doing this is because we have to cook this in wine. So then we've got our glass of wine in here. Raise the heat and bring this to a light boil first. We've got a light boil, I can reduce my heat, and here it says to cover and leave this to simmer for 30 minutes. I think we will have to take the breast out. I'm going to wait 15 minutes and then take them out. So I will put my oven at about 50 or 60 degrees Celsius and put my chicken on the tray cover to keep it warm while we finish the rest. And after that, it's just making the sauce. There's going to be an addition of cream, a reduction, and we're done. But I want to know a little bit where we stand here with that mixture, because there's always nuances with these dishes. It's a bit of tomato, lots of carrot. It's an interesting mixture. The fact that there is more cognac already changed the flavor profile in here. I can feel a little bit of the tomato in there, and when the carrots are going to infuse, I think it's going to sweeten the whole mix. Interesting. So very low heat, lid on, 30 minutes, and then we'll see how it looks like. Remember, take the breast if you want halfway through. So a bit of an audio issue here to do voiceover, but basically my chicken now is ready. I've removed already the breast on here, and that little coloration that you have on the top here is a bit sad. So typically what I'll do, I'm going to take these out of the pan, reserve them on the tray. And later on, I'm going to put them under the grill to get some coloration going. And once the chicken is out, like here, then we're going to start making the sauce. Now for the sauce, this is truly a one-pot dish. And if you want, you can leave this little piece of chicken in here, you can remove them. But we're going to be using a high heat, and all what we need to do here is to add some cream. So about 100, 125 milliliters if you want. Mix the whole lot, and then we're going to bring this to what is in the book, actually a brisk boil. So we're going to boil the heck out of this for a few minutes until we're reaching that famous spoon coating consistency. After a few minutes, my sauce has reduced and it's got that spoon coating consistency. So it coats easily the back of a spoon. It sticks to the spoon like that. We're good to go. We're going to turn it off. So typically, you have your chicken, you take it out of the oven, you put it on a dish, you're going to pass that sauce over the chicken and you press down the sieve to extract all the juices. But for me, I'm going to put this and pass it through a little pan here and adjust the seasoning so we can look at the sauce in more detail. My sauce is now ready, and I have to say that sauce making is really something I really like to do. It's become a bit of my specialty when I cook. I love to make a good sauce, and look at this sauce. Poulet Sauté Ronsard yields a sauce that is almost chestnut-like color. Maybe it's too much light on here, I don't know if you can see, but a beautiful color. And this is here that you're going to have the final adjustments. So typically when you have a sauce, we're going to start by testing the sauce, here where we stand in terms of salt and pepper. It is very elegant. I think it's definitely more the poet when they say Ronsard, so a little bit of salt. It lacks a little bit of pepper, so this is a multi-grain, different colors of single origin pepper. And because I've removed, it's almost like a pepper sauce. Because I've removed some of the cognac from the recipe, I've reduced the amount. I'm going to claim it back by adding a good tablespoon of it, raw, like this, in here. And because it's not boiling, I'm going to keep all the characteristic of the cognac in here. And I'm just going to let it simmer a little bit, do a final taste, and then we're going to be ready to serve with the chicken. I have placed my chicken under the grill, briefly, just to crisp up the skin, and it is a very simple dish, so imagine it's like more than 50 years old. The Poulet Sauté Ronsard, the Sautéed Chicken Ronsard style. I'll just take one of those on here. And I guess one of these, you know, the same thing with this sauté kind of dish, it's always the sauce. The sauce that has got that kind of rich chestnut-like color. You see, so if I cover the chicken, so there we have it, we've got the element, we've got a bit of the tomato that was in there. I've left a few carrots in here to show you. But you would have, of course, on the side, this saffron flavored rice. And it won't be served like this. This is really just for us here to kind of have a look. That got a bit cold because by the time we make a picture and stuff, not a problem. And what I want to show is that beautiful, I love this creamy sauce. There's definitely a sweetness to it. The hint of tomato, anyway, the cognac. Makes it very elegant, but that really screams for a rice. These are the kind of dishes, pasta or rice with these creamy sauces. But it is a classic. So, final bite. So we've got the chicken. It's served like this. Imagine you've got your rice, your pasta. And you start smiling. So what did you think about that old recipe? So I know it's about 40 to 45 years old from the book, but it dates back for more than that. So it's surely 70 years plus. And it is a simple sauté dish with chicken, with a cream sauce made in a one-pot fashion with some elegant ingredients. We've got the cognac in here with the white wine, a good quality dry white wine, and you're good to go. Now, if you want me to make the saffron rice in the video, please leave me a comment in the comment section, and I can do that for you. We can do the pilaf and we'll see how it goes and how it fits together with that recipe. But for now, I hope you're gonna try the recipe. It's a simple one. Try it at home. It doesn't cost much. The ingredients are very accessible, and I'm sure all of you can do it. No problem. I will leave you with that beautiful picture on the screen. And I'll see you next time on the French Cooking Academy. Take care all. Bye-bye.
My appetite, don't leave me here high and dry.